Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel and happy St. Patrick's Day. As you can see, I'm decked out in green. I've got my green shadow on today, although it's registering, I think, more brown than it actually is. In light of me recording on St. Patrick's Day, I thought I would share with you all my green bottled fragrances. Now, all of these are not green as far as notes are concerned, but actually a lot of them have some green in, and many of them would work well for spring. So before I get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community. And without further ado, let's get into this. So the first fragrance I'm going to share with you has just a teeny hint of green in the top of the bottle, and it is Angel Iced Star by Mugler. Now this is a discontinued fragrance, although I think you can still get it in places. Essentially, it's kind of a pina colada fragrance. This has pineapple, coconut, vanilla patchouli, and praline. What I get primarily is pineapple, coconut, and it smells more like shaved ice. So instead of a pina colada drink that's really quite creamy, this smells a little bit colder than that. It smells like there's a little bit of ice in there and it's a little bit clearer, but pineapple and coconut definitely is represented in this one. This is a fun fragrance. It doesn't last overly long, at least on me, but it's really enjoyable. If you're going on a cruise or something like that, like this is the time of year that a lot of people go on cruises, you should take this one with you because it's just really fun. Next fragrance, this bottle is totally green, and that is Elizabeth Arden Green Tea Pear Blossom. So green tea pear blossom, it has pear, of course. It's got lemon, it's got bergamot in it. There's green tea, pear blossom, jasmine sambac, mate, musk, moss, and amber. This one definitely is green. So whereas the Angel Iced Star is not green at all, this one you're definitely getting some green in there. The pear smells like a green unripened pear. So very, very fresh smelling. This one is a great refreshing fragrance for summer, spring and summer. The pear blossom gives it a bit of floral, which is actually really quite nice. So I enjoy this fragrance. It's not my favorite from the line, but it is a nice pear fragrance if you love pear. But just remember, this is the green, like a really green unripened pear, and it smells almost more like the pear peel. So if you were to smell the pear before you bite into it, that's kind of the smell that you get. And I do find that pear oftentimes smells quite floral. So no exception with this one, definitely quite floral. The next green bottle that I have to share with you is one of my favorites right now, and it is called Be in Love with Pistachio Gelato by the Dua brand. This is so freaking delicious because it smells like pistachio gelato primarily. So it's like 60-70% pistachio gelato, and then it's been blended with their inspired version of Love Don't Be Shy. So you get some sweet kind of orange blossom feel in there, but then you get tons of that pistachio gelato fragrance in here. It smells very creamy, very dessert-like, very warm and inviting and yummy. It's a very romantic fragrance. It kind of is a bit of a fairy fragrance, but it's the dramatic fairy. So kind of the over-the-top fairy would definitely wear this fragrance. I love it. It's sweet. It smells fluffy. You definitely get a lot of that pistachio gelato feel in it, but then it's just tempered nicely with that Love Don't Be Shy DNA. So love this one. Next fragrance in the most beautiful green bottle I think I have. Like, I love this bottle. And it is Niche Royal Vert by Maison Alhambra. Look at that bottle. Like, it is such a gorgeous bottle. It's supposedly inspired by Vert Malachite. The notes on the website indicate that there's rose in here. I think that that's a mistake. It's delicious. Like, this fragrance is gorgeous. I'm loving it more and more and more. Like, the more I smell it, the more amazing it smells. So this, it's essentially a yellow floral, but it's perfect for springtime. It's got some petitgrain in there and orange. It gives it a slightly kind of citrusy green feel, but then it's paired with jasmine. There's ylang ylang, and I would say the ylang ylang is definitely the most present, but it doesn't smell like banana ylang ylang. Sometimes ylang ylang will smell a bit banana-like. This one smells like a floral, tropical, very warm. Like I just imagine it being warm outside and you're getting the humidity of the air, making the floral scent just kind of suspend in the air as you're walking through. And so you walk through this beautiful kind of luscious forest, and essentially your skin and your clothing and everything ends up smelling like this because of the humidity and the way the florals are hanging in the air, if that makes sense. That's the feel that I get from this. I find it very relaxing. I find it very elegant and sophisticated. Love this one. Another fragrance that has a green bottle is Kryptonite by Khalil T. Paris. I don't hear many people talk about this fragrance. I think this niche house only has 2 fragrances out. Maybe they've got more, but this fragrance is so fantastic. It's primarily iris is what you're getting. And it's one of those fragrances. Lately, I am just so in love with kind of that powdery iris violet feel, which I never thought I'd be into that. Before, I always associated it with old powdery, baby powdery yuckiness. That's what I associated iris and violet with. Now I'm finding it so sophisticated, so feminine, so alluring. The only thing that makes me wonder is like if lots of people don't like iris and violet, when I wear it, do people think I stink? So this one has tonka, there's aldehydes, and the tonka is in the opening. So there's a sweetness in here. There's also almond, which I definitely get almond in here as well as the iris. There's jasmine, cedar, and sandalwood. I don't really notice those. I mainly get that iris in here along with the tonka and the almonds. And what aldehydes are supposed to do is kind of create a sparkling quality. I don't find that this feels sparkling. I find that it smells very sophisticated and it smells delicate somehow. I love the fact that the cap is magnetic. Like, listen to this. So good. And even the name Kryptonite, like kryptonite was green. So the idea is that this is so alluring that people are just weak in the knees when they smell you. So it's a really interesting fragrance. It's supposed to be unisex, although I find it leans feminine. That said, my dad actually found it quite unisex. Like he would definitely wear this. Very classy, very sophisticated, very different. I don't smell this anywhere. So it's definitely worth getting your nose on it for sure. The next green bottle fragrance, it just has a tiny bit of green, but I wanted to include it. The name has green on it and the lid is green. This is called Gris by Soradora. Guys, I love this fragrance. It is so not my normal MO, and this one definitely is green. This is not a safe blind buy, guys. Like this, out of any fragrance, is the least safe blind buy I can ever imagine. There's lots that are unsafe, but this one is up there. So this has mint and basil. Those are 2 of the main notes that are in here. There's also currant bud, which I think adds to the green. So it'd be like you're walking through an herb garden. That's kind of what you get. And I happen to just really love that. I've always loved mint. And what this reminds me of is when my son was little, I would plant lavender, rosemary, thyme, spearmint, different herbs like that. And then I would take him and I'd go, run your hand through it. So I'd get him to run his hand through the different things and then go smell. And so he could smell it. And the wonder in any child's eyes, like I had other kids that would come over, different family members even would come over. And it was always so cool to run your hand through these herbs and then smell your hand, the freshness, the fact that it smells like life. So I love this fragrance because of that. Now this, I would say, definitely leans more masculine. It also sits closer to the skin after about an hour. So to begin with, for the first hour, it's actually, to me, almost beast mode. Like it's really strong projecting. And what I get mainly is the mint, with some basil. Some people get lots of the basil, but I get primarily mint, which is so different, so not normal. I love this one in the summer because it's very cooling to me. As it dries down, you start to get a little bit of that caramel. And to me, Soradora does caramel so well. Caramel's in a lot of the Soradora fragrances, and I just always love it. So as this dries down, it gets a little bit woody, a little bit sweeter and softer with that caramel in there. And I just think it's delicious. So it goes from being a bright minty fragrance to kind of a warm, sweet kind of caramel fragrance that sits really close to the skin. So really, really enjoy this fragrance, but it's definitely different and more masculine leaning in my opinion. The last fragrance that is in a green bottle is Marc Jacobs Decadence. This bottle is, you either love it or hate it. I happen to hate it. I like it actually without this cap. So just imagine, like if the cap was that, I wouldn't mind it. If the cap was even like that, if the cap was that, I would love it. Like I would love this bottle if the cap was that. But no, the cap isn't that. The cap is this, and it's a monstrosity in my opinion. But the fragrance is beautiful. So this is definitely a green kind of plum with some woodiness in it. But to me, it comes across more like a green vanilla. Decadence has plum, saffron, and iris, orris, jasmine sambac, rose, vetiver, papyrus, and liquid amber. This is a very a green plum. There's woodiness. It's sensual, it's sexy, but it's definitely green. So I really enjoy this one. It's definitely different though. So very green, like I'm smelling the greenness in the air right now. This is more of an evening scent. It's a little bit heavier, but it's actually a really cool fragrance. Really hard to come by though, I think. If I can find it, I'll link it down below. But my guess is companies will start making inspired versions. Maybe Dua already has one, but it is a very, very cool fragrance. So that is it. Those are my green bottle fragrances. What about you? What is your favorite green fragrance? It could be the green bottle or it could be a green scent. Please leave it in the comments. And other than that, happy St. Patrick's Day, and I hope you have an amazing week. We'll talk to you soon. As promised, I'm sharing with you what I have on my eyes and my lips. So today I am using the Morphe palette in 18B. Any sort of an olivey colored shadow is going to work. So I use this olivey color in the upper part and then deepen the crease with that one, and then put some brown in there just to kind of make it a little more wearable. On the eyelid, I have this color, so any sort of a greeny gold would work. What I've lined my eyes with is again from Morphe, and it's called Locket, and it's basically just a teal colored pencil. And then on my lips, I used the Maybelline Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner in Gone Greige. Now, some of you have told me about that Lavender and Thistle or whatever by NYX. I cannot find the lip liner anywhere in Canada. So I think it must be in the States. I can find the lipstick for it, but it's supposed to be a fantastic kind of gray toned lip liner. I can't find it. And then in the center of my lip, I used Fairy Dust by Morphe. I don't know if Morphe even exists anymore. On the lips, I used Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk, just the original. So it's really kind of just a little bit of a peachy neutral. And then I always go in with my Buxom Lavender Cosmos just to kind of cool it up a little bit, because otherwise it's just like so warm for my skin. On my cheeks, I have a peach blush from eons ago in an old Too Faced palette. So any sort of a bright peach blush is what I used. So you can use whatever you want, but those are kind of the colors that I used.
I love the fact that the cap is magnetic. Oh, listen to that. It just makes me so happy. I love it. Okay, I gotta share you guys, I've got to share with you my crazy little hat that I got. Now, it's so cute. I think it's supposed to be worn as a fascinator, like that, although this thing would need to be steamed. It's kind of sweet. But I personally, except like when you stick it in the hair, it gets caught in the hair. I personally want to wear this backwards. Like a little tiny mini hat with a flowy veil. Isn't that nuts? But I kind of like it like that. I've never had a Fascinator before. This is the first time in my life. What do you think? It's not bad, is it? I'm kind of happy with it, except it's pulling all my hair out, so I'm not wearing it. Ma, don't bother me right now. I'm eating me Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious. Happy St. Patrick's Day.